Yo, what's going on, everybody, man? What a weekend in NBA hoops. This is your host and moderator of the Hesi HoopCast. I mean, where else would you be right now to get all of the updates on this weekend's hoops, man? Welcome to the Hesi HoopCast, y'all. Before we get started, we definitely want to hear from our distinguished guests. We have Black Moses right here, and we have Leak up here. Black, how you doing, man?
I was Black Moses. I was Black Moses. This week, man, hey, I'm Kwame Black. You know, I know you brothers are gonna bloviate on, and praise a lot of what you saw this weekend, but I'm here for head tops this week. I'm here for head tops. I'm calling out some players this week. So
oh yeah, we're here for that.
I'm doing good.
Hey, be careful. Be careful with the call outs, all right? Because Kwame Brown, right? He's looking, he's like Candyman for talking head. You know what I mean? You say his name, right? Or you fucking player, you know what I mean? And he coming to give you some of his mama cookies, all right?
Leak, how you doing this morning, brother?
Hey, I'm good, man. I'm happy to be back on the show with y'all. You know, we're gonna sprinkle some of our mama's cooking on you know what I'm saying, on the show today. Yes. But overall, man, the playoffs are already so intense. I'm loving what I'm seeing. You know what I'm saying? It really feels it's that time of the year. You know what I mean? So I'm glad to talk about that with y'all, man. But I'm good. Mark, how you living, man? How you been?
Man, I'm excited. I'm doing great. Really happy to be on with you two fellas, man. So before we get going, we just want to thank all of our viewers, current viewers and replay viewers. And we're going to ask you to do us a huge favor, man. Like and subscribe to the Hesi HoopCast here on YouTube. Also, when you're done with this HoopCast, fly on over to Instagram. Follow us there on IG because we're active. You know, we're
Absolutely.
active. So we want y'all to be a part of
Shout out to Black for keeping that up too, man. Hey,
yes, sir.
The stories get very interesting. All right. Yes. So y'all make sure y'all tap into the IG.
Absolutely. So, guys, I mean, we got the play-in, we got first round, we got just this NBA everything. So let's get right in with the play-in recap. I just want to know what you guys thought about that play-in game. Black, we're gonna start with you. What was your thoughts on the play-in tournament for this year?
Well, I want to say this, man. My narratives were all over the place.
Facts.
Right now, I'm feeling like my credibility is shot, man. You know, Leak, you know, he bloviated last week about how he thought the Hornets were kind of gassed, and he was right. He also bloviated about how in order for the Celtics to solidify their spot, that Jason Tatum was going to have to explode. He did. The Warriors-Lakers game was probably the most exciting out of the bunch. But one thing I bloviated about that I was right, and I said this way back at the beginning of this year, was that the Warriors would not make the playoffs, and I was right. And I'm here for my flowers, and I want my flowers while I can smell them. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
Look,
what do you think?
This is interesting. All right, this is the type of cat Black is. All right, look, he come with flowers, right? Expecting to get flowers back. Ain't that something? Come on, man. Look at that.
Listen, hey, it's all about reciprocation, brother.
Look, I hear you. I hear you. The Hornets gas versus the Pacers. That was really interesting, man. I felt like it was gonna play out like that, but I ain't gonna lie. I didn't like to see it happen. I didn't like it. The Celtics and Wizards, I was very surprised that Tatum gave the Wizards more than they can handle. I thought even with his explosion that the Wizards were still going to be able to pull it off because they got Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook. These are two all-NBA players. And Bradley Beal is from St. Louis as well as Jason Tatum. And Bradley Beal obviously was in the league first. He's like Jason Tatum's big bro. So for Jason Tatum to drop 50 on his head and push him down in the play-in, you know, that was we got to talk about Tatum differently. Is basically what that's, and we probably won't talk about him like that till next season because they're facing the Nets right now, right? You know what I mean? So you know, we'll be talking about him next season like that. But right now, you know, he got to deal with what he's got coming. But the Spurs and the Grizz, that was a good game. Ja elevated his play, elevated his team. Lakers and Warriors, that was a very good game. And I do believe Steph Curry was the best player on the floor, no cap.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I'm also interested on what they look like coming back when Klay Thompson gets healthy, because if he comes back at least 80% of what he was, they can get other perimeter lockdown players, right? They can get that. But the shooting, the screen running between him and Steph, the Warriors are gonna have to be, they're gonna end up right back in the mix, just as they were before that injury.
Does Draymond Green maintain his current role on that roster?
Yes, but Draymond Green maintains his role. I think he's gonna look even better next year with more I see you, Mark. Listen, man. Listen, I'm not the biggest fan of Draymond. Look, I'm not the biggest fan of Draymond, right? I'm not.
Hey, Leak, I'm not gonna let you do this right now, man. I'm not gonna let you do this right now because he's the reason. He's one of the major reasons why they didn't make the playoffs. Let's not cap. All right.
He's also one of the major reasons why Steph was able to have the season he had and why they made the play-in. You got to count Draymond's assist, the way he moves the ball, the way he gets the teammates in line. His defense was all NBA this season, which they wouldn't even have a chance. They were a top 5 team defensively.
He's an elite. Draymond is an elite locker room guy. At best.
Listen, but no, we have to account what he does on the court. See, Kwame gonna come for you, Black. You listen. You got to stop discounting these brothers and what they bring to the squad. They were a top 5 defense. How in the hell did they become that? Draymond Green, right? It has to be the answer, right? So, with that being said, though, that was, I think Ja Morant to me impressed me out of all the playing. I don't want to talk about the playing too long because we got the game 1 of the playoffs going, but man, we saw this energy carry over from the play-in to game 1 of the playoffs. I think we all agree on that.
Ja Morant took out Pop, and he took out the Golden State Warriors in one fell swoop.
Absolutely.
And shout out to the Grizzlies as well. I mean, Dylan Brooks did an amazing job defensively on Steph, right, in that last playing game. I like these young guys, man. They got a lot of moxie.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, the play-in was exciting. I think we could, probably all agree the most exciting part of the game was the game winner by one LeBron James. So as we talk about LeBron James, let's talk about LeBron above the rules, COVID rules, that is. We're going to go to Black. Black has some insider information. I think his sources, he's really tapped in with this story. So let's go to Black on what exactly happened with LeBron and the COVID protocol.
First off, I just want to say the antics that LeBron displayed towards the end of that Golden State Warriors game were appalling to me. The amount of times that he laid out on that floor like he had just been shot. I mean, that being said, let me get on topic. That being said, as you guys may have saw watching the game, Drake and Michael B. Jordan were sitting front row. Not a surprise to see celebs sitting front row in Staples, but pictures surfaced this weekend as well of LeBron James at a social gathering, absolutely, with said Drake and Michael B. Jordan.
Absolutely.
I don't know exactly what they were doing. It looked like they were sipping something. So I imagine there was a slight lituation, but apparently it came out that Bron shouldn't have been doing that. So the league came out, said that he violated COVID protocols. Look at Franklin Saint in the building from Snowfall. A couple other cats. But that being said, the league released that he violated COVID protocols. I mean, Bron looking just as proud as can be, like he could care less, right? And of course, there was no suspension. Now, if you remember last year in the bubble, Sweet Lou Williams left the bubble to go to Magic City, and he was suspended, right? And he also had to quarantine, didn't he? So that being said, the fact that LeBron James suffered no repercussions for this caused quite a stir in the NBA community, and I'm just interested. What do you guys think, man? Obviously, they weren't going to suspend Bron. I mean, right. He is the biggest star in these playoffs. But when does it end, guys? Can we get your takes on that?
Lee, I'll leave it to you.
And look, Bron runs the league, okay? And we knew that we knew that he was in sticky waters once they said that he had broke the COVID violation, right, or the COVID protocols. But they're not going to suspend LeBron James. And honestly, I'm going to keep it 100. They shouldn't have said nothing about the COVID protocols. Mm-hmm. They should just let that be. They should have let LeBron have his little night with Drizzy and Michael B. Jordan and those other guys, the go along to get along gang, right? They should have let all them do their thing. And the NBA should not have said nothing, released no statement about no protocols, because now it just looks bad. For him to violate the protocols according to the NBA, but to not be reprimanded, right? And for Lou Will to have to sit back and eat that now in hindsight, you know what I mean? And remember, the Clippers never got their groove. They never got their footing last year during the postseason in the bubble. And one could try to make an excuse and say, well, look, they got hit with injuries. They had Montrezl Harrell, Pat Bev coming in and out the lineup, and Lou Will was suspended for breaking the COVID violations. Why isn't LeBron suspended? So it could go that way. I think the NBA shouldn't have said anything, but obviously we know that LeBron does run the league, and everybody is subject to his kingdom at this point.
Yeah.
One thing I am impressed with, and I will say this, that Bron was able to avoid any imagery with him and any women of the night, because we all know Bron's wife would have been on his head top.
Let's be very clear. LeBron has been squeaky. He's moved very differently from other stars, right? You know what I mean? We haven't seen LeBron and I don't think we've seen him in a compromised scenario. As far as his brand, right? We haven't seen LeBron's brand be compromised. We're talking about a family man, a businessman, more than an athlete, right? A great father, a great husband, a great friend, right? Somebody who knows how to unwind, let loose a little bit. Somebody who knows how to get down to the business and handle their BI like a grown man. We haven't seen LeBron's brand be compromised in any way up to this point. So I'm not surprised about that at all. And in fact, the gathering between him, Drizzy, and Michael B. Jordan actually plays with his brand.
Yes,
he's more than an athlete. He does know how to unwind. You know what I mean? And he likes to show off his deets, as we like to say, when it comes to the clothing and those things. So listen, man, look, man. Shout out to Nate Curry. Obviously, we can't use this language on the show, but most would agree.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think you guys pretty much said it all. LeBron's in all his glory at this point. Year 18, he's walking around. His chest is out. I mean, he's daring the league do something, and of course they're not going to. But like Leak said, it would have been better for the league to have not even mentioned this because it really it looks bad. It's a bad look. But we'll definitely see LeBron in game 2. I don't think there's any doubt there. Yeah. Moving on to another point forward that really had an amazing game 1. We're talking about Luka Doncic, or as we like to call him, Luka Magic, because this brother was looking like Irving Magic Johnson. Leak, man, we're gonna start with you on this one, man. What was your thoughts on Luka's game 1?
Man, I was extremely impressed. I mean, we all at this point we all know Luka is a very skilled player. Some would even say a great player already at this point. We look at his stat line, we see 31 points, 11 assists, and 10 rebounds. And he played the most minutes on the squad, but he was a one-man wrecking crew. All right. He controlled the pace of the game, controlled the tempo of the game, controlled the confidence of the game. I mean, he put Pat Bev in jail. He told that little man, told him you're too small. I mean, this guy had a wonderful night, and he has all the confidence in the world versus this team.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I don't think the Clippers can do anything with them. it's going to be interesting to see if his role players can keep up what they're doing. Luka's role players, then they could definitely, win this series for sure. Because Luka's playing at that much of a high level, and these two-way all NBA defenders and Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, the champion, the Claw Kawhi, they can't do nothing with him. They can't do nothing with him. So it's very interesting to see. But it shows the skill of Luka, who's been playing professional basketball since the age of 16. He's seen all these coverages. He knows the way the pick and roll works. He's been playing since 16. There's different guys on the floor, but it's the same damn game. All right, and that's what Luka understands. So I loved it. I'm looking forward to seeing the Mavericks continue to put this beating on the Clippers.
Yeah, Black, what do you think, brother?
Man, the league is in good hands, isn't it?
Yeah. We
got a lot of young stars making their name right now under the brightest of lights, and it's great to see. I mean, we're going to talk about Bron later, but in a post Bron world, it seems like we got some guys that are ready to take that. They're ready to take that next step. Luka included. I mean, this guy literally was doing everything he wanted out there, and like Leak said, he's doing it against two of the premier two-way players in the NBA.
Right.
Two seasoned vets at this point, two guys that have been in battles, that have gone against some of the league's top players, and he's making them look like, put it this way, man, I've never seen a Euro player come into the league and do this out the gates. Now, we can say what we want about Dirk, Ginobili, Parker. We can even go back to, the Petroviches of the world. But I've never seen a guy this confident, this young, come in and make these guys look like, like he's playing against, pardon me, but like he's playing against white boys out there.
Right. No, absolutely, man. And we can't forget, Black and Leak, that they gave the Clippers all they wanted last year before Porzingis went out. Now we've got a healthy Porzingis. I mean, the Clippers could be looking at a first-round exit here. Let's talk about that really quick before we move to the other games. What are your thoughts on the Clippers, man? Do you guys think that they have a shot here?
I'm looking at my notes here. At the top of the page, it says Black's list, and PG and Kawhi are on it. In order for them to do anything, it must go through them. They are the stars of this team. And if one of them has an off game, it could get ugly for them. Yeah. So I'm putting the spotlight right now. I'm calling out PG, and we've all given him a hard time this year. But I'm also, Lee, can I get the screen real quick?
Yep.
I'm also calling out Kawhi Leonard. Ever since he left Toronto, he's been a completely different beast. And he asked for this team. He asked for Paul George. They changed the coaching situation for him.
Right.
And now it's on him.
Right.
We got to place onus on Kawhi Leonard. Those other two chips do not matter. You're on the Clippers. This is a new situation, and it's on you. You're expected to win. Now,
to answer your question, Mark, Kawhi had 26 and 10, right? So he had a fairly good game. You know what I mean? And Kawhi's kind of been handling his business. Paul George is the one to me that's got to step up, particularly in the first round, because Kawhi's been all the way to the promised land, right? And he's grabbed the mantle there twice, right? So he's going to be able to deliver if you get to the place where you're trying to go to. Paul George has got to do his part early in the playoffs to literally lift them up and take the load off of Kawhi. That way they can actually get to that place where Kawhi could then do his thing. You know what I mean? The Raptors were able to do that as a team, right? The Spurs were able to do that as a team. They don't have necessarily the whole team with Clippers that can do that, but he has the supporting player and Paul George who's supposed to be able to help him with that. And Paul George has been keeping up his end of the bargain. He's went from playoff P to pandemic P socially, right? I mean, that's what everybody calls it. And Kwame call me for that. You know what I mean? So everybody knows that. What do you think?
Hey, Lee, I gotta push back on you. I gotta push back on you a little bit, Leak. Solely because Kawhi, up to this point, has benefited from being a part of really good teams. He could have stayed in Toronto and continued to win there, but he decided to leave and go to the Clippers. And he asked for Paul George specifically. So if you're going to do all that and then not put the whole team on your back, I gotta start pointing fingers at you a bit. Yes, Paul George needs to play better. We all know that. But this is Kawhi Leonard's team. He's the Bron in this situation. And we will be calling out Bron right now. So I'm doing the same thing to Kawhi Leonard.
Hey,
I'm jacked up, y'all.
Hey, if Bron had 26 and 10.
Jacked.
If Bron had 26 and 10, we'd be looking at Anthony Davis. Real talk. So I'm gonna just leave that out there. The pushback was very welcomed, Black, and I'll make sure to serve a dish back at the appropriate timing. But let's continue. Shout out to the viewers in the chat.
Yes,
Shout
sir.
Out to JT Money 916. Shout out to
it's playoff time, y'all.
Shout out to Chris Murray.
It's playoff time with no head.
Ask you who are your sources, Black. So you don't have to answer that. You know, just like every other question we ask you.
Hey, Pops, I'll talk to you off air.
Okay, all right.
Yo, man, I'm here for it. The fellas are lit, man. I hope you guys like the little sparring we're doing right now. But guys, we got to move on. We got to move on because we got a lot of games to get to. So let's start with the Nets versus the Celtics, man. What did you guys think of that game? That was a really good game. Black, we're going to start with you. What were your thoughts on Nets v. Celtics?
I thought that the Nets started off a little cold. They weren't knocking down shots. And the post-game interviews I watched, they all acknowledged that. James Harden even went a step further and said he was a little thrown off by having fans there for the first time, which is understandable. They all acknowledge that no excuses matter in that case. I thought the game was closer than it could have been. But also, too, I do want to highlight that Jason Tatum and Kemba Walker didn't really have good games shooting-wise, and I don't expect that to happen moving forward. But I do want to say, before I throw it to Leak, that I'm looking at Black's list. And Kemba Walker's name is on it. In order for the Celtics to play well, Kemba Walker is going to need to play well. And he hasn't really done that since he's put on the lucky green of the Celtics. And I get it. He's been injured. He hasn't been quite healthy since becoming a Celtic. But are we going to continue to use that as an excuse for his play, or are we going to start putting a spotlight on this man and asking him why he's not doing anything near what he did before he got this contract? And I'll leave it up to you, Lee.
So I'm looking at the stat line, and I see KD drop 32, Kyrie with 29, James Harden with 21. That right there should be good enough to get them a win most nights, right? One player in the 30s, two players in the 20s. That's good enough right there. Tatum had 22 points, and when you look at it was actually a pretty close game when you look at the team stats as far as like the rebounds, the assists, the blocks, fouls, everything going to the line. Everything was actually very close, points in the paint. So really the difference is just, a KD basically who had 34, basically somebody who can get their shot anytime they want to, at any moment they want to. The difference is a Kyrie Irving, who had 29, who could get his shot anytime he wants to, whenever he wants to. These guys are so good individually that they're going to elevate themselves past anybody that they're in front of until it gets to the point where they meet other players that are just as good. I love Jason Tatum. He dropped 50 in the playing game, elevated his team past the Wizards, but without Jaylen Brown, he ain't going to have enough, right?
These are facts.
And then I'm also looking at Kemba Walker in this game, and we see that he was able to put up 15 points. He had 2 assists. He's a shell of himself right now, right? And
that's all I wanted to acknowledge, fellas. Yeah. I'm not here to hate.
Hold on, Black. Hold on. All right. Okay. Hold on. Okay. All right. Now, with that being said, Kimba's situation. Hey, Kimba's situation reminds me a lot of Isaiah Thomas, right? This is a miniature guy, right, with an extremely sharp skill set, but he just ain't right. He just ain't right now, and I don't know exactly what it is. I'm sure the injuries are public, but he just don't seem right. And they're relying on this man. They're about to run this man into the ground this series. I ain't gonna lie. And it's all for naught because there's no way. Like what did Ty 916 say? There it is. There's no chance in hell. JT Money. Now, excuse me. There's no chance in hell that the Boston Celtics win this series. But they about to run Kimba into the ground for the sake of him playing.
That's facts.
So shout out to Kimba and all the other injured players around the board. He is a shell of himself, but you know it's gonna be a hard week and a half for that man. I'll tell you that right now. But yeah, this game was closer than expected, but we're gonna see more separation in this series as time goes on with every game, I think.
Before we go, fellas, if the series goes the way we think it's gonna go, does Black finally get the Brad Stevens decapitation he's been asking for?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You listen. Nobody's going under the guillotine for losing to the Nets in a 7-game series. All right. The only person who could possibly go under the guillotine is usually the person that the public does put under the guillotine, which is the king, which will be LeBron James if they lose to the Celtics in the finals. I mean, to the Nets in the finals. That's who would get decapitated. All right. And I'm not really here for that either. You know what I mean?
Best believe Bron throwing Vogel under that bus. All
right.
Shout out to Greenlight. He says
these are facts. I was gonna bring up Tristan Thompson, but I feel like there's no reason to bring up Tristan Thompson. He's not moving the needle.
Got auntie hips. All right. Yeah. So
man,
the comments are jumping right now, man. I can't say we got Maestro 1906. Shout out to him. He says, unfortunately, the Clippers will always be little brother to the Celtics. They in trouble with Luka. That's a fact. Hey, Luka came home and they ain't had their stuff together. Luka like a that came home from work, and the Clippers, the kids, they had their stuff together.
Right, they ain't take the chicken out the freezer.
But yeah, man.
They ain't thought of chicken out yet.
Nets will sweep the Celtics. Once Big Three gets warmed up, it's a wrap. That's a fact. All right.
Yeah.
Good point. Shout out to Tyrone. Shout out to Tyrone in the building.
What up, Tyrone?
Particularly because he's validating my narrative, right? So shout out to Tyrone.
We know you have your favorites, Tyrone.
I got stands in the chat. Let's be very clear. No, I'm just kidding. Shout out to Todd. Blake Griffin went crazy. Shout out to Nate Curry, right? I was about to say Nate Griffin, right? Lightweight Blake Curry and Nate Griffin.
Same complexion.
Right.
Same complexion.
Let's see, Tyrone LaFlop James. We'll get to that. Let's see. The Oscars should change their award to the Academy Award, right? That's a fact, man. That's a fact, man. Yeah. So shout out to Oil in the chat. This one right here is.
Hey, I feel playoff right intensity, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right. I feel like we're playing for 15,000, right?
Yo, it's lit, man. Well, fellas, we definitely got to move to this game. This was a good one. We had the Bucks versus the Miami Heat. I tapped into this one this weekend, so I want to get your thoughts. Leek, we'll start with you, man. What did you think about the Bucks versus the Heat?
Yeah, so this was a good game as well. Very close game, which I preferably like. I also think that that this game was actually very even across the board as well.
Mm-hmm.
I was shocked to see the big names with such small production, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Butler, this is a good game, 17, 8, and 10. This is an all-around game, you know. You got Bam with 9 points and 12 rebounds. Now, this is a Bam stat line I would have saw last year. I thought he was a little past that at this point, you know what I mean? But nonetheless, Goran Dragic, Duncan Robinson had big games. I also think Bam was paired a lot on Giannis.
Giannis.
So he had his work cut out for him defensively in this series. So, but this was a good game. I was surprised to see Giannis with 18 rebounds, right? So if he's going to dominate like that, it's going to be hard to beat this team because you're looking at a lot of second chance points. But overall, it went down to the wire. Drew Holiday with 20 and Chris Middleton. That's who I'm putting the spotlight on. He had a big game, big shot after big shot, looking like he trained with Kobe at Mamba Academy or something like that, right? He looking like he got the game passed on to him, right? I don't remember him in those picks with Kobe. You know what I mean? I don't remember him with Kyrie Irving. I don't remember him with Jason Tatum. I don't remember him with these guys, right? But somehow, some way, this dude was able to really put on an offensive show with the massive amount of fadeaways and pull-up J's, from in front of and behind the arc. So shout out to him. If he's playing like that, which is what we've always wanted the whole time the Bucks have been making their runs, then I do see the Bucks getting to the Eastern Conference Finals and having something to say there, amongst all the hate they've been receiving all season. But this was a good game. Shout out to Jimmy Butler. I like the close games, and this was another one.
Yeah. What'd you think about it, Black?
Man, this one could have went either way, and I think it's very reflective of the series because, let's be honest, Miami Heat is better than the position they're in right now in the playoffs. I mean, they went to the NBA Finals last season. So that being said, to me the difference kind of comes down to a few things. It's crazy. The Milwaukee Bucks shot 16% from three. But still won this game.
They got the W, right.
They shot 60% from the free throw line compared to 78%, 80% from Miami. Still got this game. The difference for me is Chris Middleton. Mm-hmm. Chris Middleton has been looking different all season. He's expressed that he's kind of tired of hearing the narratives that he's the one to blame when they don't play well. He seems to put the work in during the offseason. He's looking more confident when he's pulling up now. He's a lot more aggressive than he's been in the past. He's letting the game come to him, and he's not forcing the issue. I think, and it's obvious, but for the Bucks to play well, it goes through him. We know what Giannis is going to bring, but I think Chris Middleton is the biggest difference right now for them. And when he plays well, Milwaukee typically plays well and they win.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And, these two went head up last year. And it's funny because I think Miami's in the same seeding that they were last year when they made their run. So we know Miami is definitely capable of making some noise. So this is going to be a good series.
Absolutely.
And also, too, this is a revenge series for the Bucks.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Who did that look like, y'all? I'm just curious to know. Who did that look like?
Anytime you hit the little fall away.
Look at the movement.
Anytime you hit the little fall away or the little side floater jump shot, you're looking like Kobe.
I like how he dodged Ariza. I like how Ariza thought he was about to get a clamp job and he just said, "Nah, I'm going to the other side."
Yeah.
Because Ariza is a good defender and he picked his chance. Oh, nope, not that way. I'm going back towards this boy. Right. And just went ahead and just put Duncan Robinson in a Kobe days, basically.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chris Middleton, man.
Shout out to Middleton.
I'm looking for Jimmy Butler. I'm looking for Jimmy Butler to have a more complete game than he had game one, though. I will say that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. So let's move on to first of all, the comments is lit, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, they are. It's going down.
Yeah. Sounds like we got a lot of Heat stands.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm actually agreeing with this narrative, Nate Curry. If they force Jimmy to shoot, that's the best way they can win that series.
Yep.
You force Jimmy to play a perimeter game because that man he got brick hands, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a very aggressive player. I love his game defensively. I love what he brings to intensity. But that man got steel hands. All right, his touch is not that proper. Yeah. So yes, forcing him.
Very similar to DeRozan.
Yeah.
To who?
DeRozan.
Very similar to DeRozan.
Absolutely, but DeRozan got a little more finesse.
But he gets his food in the mid range and the free throw line.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good series for sure. So, fellas, we're gonna move right along to a series that I'm really interested in. We're talking Damian Lillard and the Blazers going against the Nuggets. Man, what do you guys think of Game 1 of that series? Black, we'll start with you on this one.
Man, I'm y'all going in and out on my feed, man.
Oh, it's on you, Black. You could go ahead and tell us what you thought about Game 1.
Okay. Yeah, man. I mean, it was just the Blazers were shooting lights out. Period. It was a 3-point contest for them. Anytime you got Melo hitting 4 threes, Dame dropping threes from the logo as usual, CJ McCollum looking healthy, and then Anthony Simons stepping into his new role, right?
Right.
He's looking like he wants to be a super 6 man for the Blazers. Anytime they're shooting like that, I mean, look, they shot 47% from field goal and 47% from the 3. Anytime he's shooting like that, it's gonna be a nightmare. Also, Denver, I want to say they shot 50% from the free throw.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, man, in the playoffs, getting fouled is hard to come by.
Right.
And if you can't capitalize when you step up to that line, it's going to be a hard series for you. You can't shoot 50% from the free throw line and expect to beat the Portland Trail Blazers. So that being said, I mean, Jokic balled out. Michael Porter Jr. is looking like he's ready to ascend to the next level.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at Black's list. And I have Aaron Gordon's name highlighted. They brought Aaron Gordon over to be a difference maker, and right now he's looking like a glorified Kenyon Martin out there. All right? looking like a finisher with no other skill set.
Looking like a limited finisher.
Yeah, he's looking like a running lob threat. And I'm placing the spotlight on Aaron Gordon. He has to play better. Period.
Yeah, totally agree. Lee, what'd you think, man?
Hey, look, I'm with Black. You can't shoot 50% from the line and expect to win a game, especially in the Western Conference. But more so than that, I'm looking at how many times they went to they shot 8 free throws to the Blazers shooting 19 free throws. All right. And 8 free throws, that ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah.
And what it seems like is Jamal Murray would be the guy who would be forcing the defense to kind of make the little mistakes and foul and send them to the line. But Michael Porter's got to take that on now, right? Michael Porter's got to attack the basket and get to the line. Jokic has got to attack the basket and get to the line. Aaron Gordon can't be the only one, right, giving body blows to the Blazers, right? This dude, Aaron Gordon, was extremely physical. He's like a body shot right to the interior defense of the Blazers. They need more of that, though, right? They need more of that. Shout out to Maestro. That was a very good comparison.
Yeah, that was excellent.
He's looking like a Kenyon Martin.
Hey, I'm on a head top.
So the Nuggets have some evening out to do, right? And that's as far as making 3-pointers and getting to the free throw line. They got some evening out to do. I don't think that this series is really able to be called, honestly, either way. I feel like both teams are very close. Remember, Portland put out the Nuggets 2 seasons ago in the playoffs to get to the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals. So Portland's already over the mental health. They don't give a damn what seed that the Nuggets are in. They know they could beat them in a 7-game series.
Mm-hmm.
They don't give a damn if Jokic is the MVP, the CVP, the DVP. It could very well be, Blazers in 6, right? Especially without Jamal Murray, who is the one who's supposed to trade baskets with Dame, right? Mm-hmm. So this series, hey, I'll tell you this: the Nuggets better get their stuff together, man. Jokic is probably going to win MVP by the skin of his teeth, right? All because Steph didn't make the playoffs, all because James Harden got hurt, all because LeBron got hurt. This might be his MVP, but he better get it together because if he doesn't get into the lane and create some physicality and get to the line and inspire the rest of the team to do the same thing, because Jokic don't seem like a leader, really. He don't seem like he galvanizing his troops. But it might be over for them in the first round, and that's not a good look for the team that they've been set up to be up to this point.
The biggest knock on the Nuggets when it comes to the playoffs is their toughness, and that is being called into question right now. They've got a lot to prove.
Right.
Absolutely. You guys raised some good points, man. Blazers has definitely been here before, so it's going to be a good series to keep an eye on. Moving right along, guys, to
hey, it's lit, yo.
It's lit.
It is. Shout out to the viewers. Make sure you hit the comment button, like and subscribe. Listen, don't get upset that I'm reminding you. You know the drill.
You know the drill.
You need to hit that button, all right? And you know
hey,
you
don't
need
be hot. Bell. Don't be hot when we blow up, too.
Right.
All right.
Absolutely, man.
No, this chat is coming with us, right?
Right.
We bringing the chat.
All right.
Fellas, so we're moving right up along to the Northeast. We're going to Philadelphia to talk about game one up there, man. What did you guys think of that game? It was Philly. It's slipping my mind. Yeah. Philly Wizards. What did you guys think about that? Black, we'll start with you on this one.
Man, I thought the Wizards played extremely well. Right. Russell was on an early rampage. They turned the ball over a little too much, in my opinion. Even throughout the season, that's been a problem for them. But I thought that they did a really good job containing Joel Embiid, making him have to think and not dominate like he normally does. Mm-hmm. I do think that will change come next game. I think Joel Embiid knows that he has to get a little bit more physical, has to get dirty, if you will. Mm-hmm. But let's be honest, man. Philly in 4.
Mm. Mm. The disrespect.
Leave it there. Lee. What do you think about that, Lee?
I think let's see. Russell Westbrook's jumper is too emotional. It is. Absolutely.
Right.
Hey, for somebody to shoot that pull up as much as Westbrook does, he sure doesn't make it a lot.
Yeah. And I do agree with Maestro. Bill and Russ did a good job getting them there, but Philly may be too much. Hey, they exerted everything they had just to get the Wizards to a playing situation, right? And then exerted everything they had once again to beat the Pacers to get into the playoffs.
Yeah,
that might be all they got, right? Now it's interesting though, because I look at the stats and look at the field goals. Philly was 46 for 93, who won the game, and Washington was 49 for 88. So they were a much more efficient team as far as shooting the ball. They even made more baskets than them. But the free throws, 12 of them, 12 of 15 for the Wizards, and 23 for 33 for the Sixers. Listen, in the playoffs, the game is very physical. Guys got to get to the free throw line. There's no way around it. If you go a game where you're only getting 10 free throws, 13 free throws, you could very well lose a game you should win. All right. You got to get to the line at least 15 to 20 times, at least 30 times. It depends on the type of players you got. If you got Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal, they both need to have 10 plus free throws, each of them, right? You can't just bail the other team out like that, especially Russell Westbrook, who's not a good shooter, right? You have to get to the line, right? So,
but he's also not a good free throw shooter.
He's a decent free throw shooter. He's not.
Russell Westbrook is a 61% free throw shooter this season.
Oh,
that's atrocious.
What about for the playoffs? What about as far as like his career playoff free throw percentage? I don't think it's that bad, and his career percentage is not that bad. He just became a bad free throw shooter over the last 3 seasons. Prior to that, he was in the 80s, I believe. So that's a mental thing.
I think that's what's causing some of that issue with him is he don't want to go to the line.
Mm.
I can say that about Alonzo Ball, right? I don't know if I can say that about a Russell Westbrook not wanting to go to the line. I don't necessarily think he's afraid of any scenario on the court. But that's just me. I'm looking at his free throw percentage over the years. Russ has been in the 80s up until 2017-18. And then he went into the 70s, and now he's in the 60s even. That's a mental thing to me. He is literally in the 80s his whole career. So with that being said, if I'm Scotty Brooks, right? You know, obviously I'm not telling Russell Westbrook anything because Scotty Brooks doesn't have that authority, clearly, right? He clearly doesn't wear the pants in that dynamic, right? However, I'm asking Russell Westbrook very nicely, my ad. I'm suggesting even, right? That you get your ass to the free throw line. Because they need it. All right. We see right here, he's in the 80s all the way up until this 2017 season, right? And then he struggled 65, 76, and 65 again. So I'm still telling him, you got to get to the line. I don't give a damn how bad you shot it last year or this year. You got to get to the line. But it is Philly in 5.
One more thing too, man, that it just keeps baffling me when I look at the box score with Russell Westbrook. He had 14 assists in the game, but he's a -7 when he's on the floor. I don't understand if you're getting the ball, if you're moving the ball around and getting it in the hands of people who are scoring, how are you still a -7?
Right.
Yeah, it's the Russ effect, man. That's a good question. That's a good question, man. I think you guys are right. I think 4 or 5 doesn't really matter. They're out of there. You know what I mean? They're gone. So, guys, we're flowing really great, man, right now. So let's move, down to Arizona, man, and let's talk about what happened with the Lakers, man. We're all resident Laker fans here, and let's be honest, fellas, it's not looking too good. So let's talk about. I want to get you guys' thoughts. Maybe you guys can make me feel a little bit better. Leek, we're gonna start with you, man. What did you think of the Lakers versus the Suns game 1?
Man, the first person I gotta put an emphasis on when it comes to this game is Devin Booker. All right. I gotta show love to Devin Booker. Obviously, I want to get into AD's lackluster game, right? I want to get into Bron, starting hot and then kind of taking a back seat when CP went down. But the real person I got to talk about, I'd be remiss if I didn't give props. I'd be remiss if I didn't call out a player that played an excellent game, especially for his first playoff game. So I got to go ahead and give a shout out to Devin Booker. The guy was phenomenal. He was clearly the best player on the floor. I thought he showed up and showed out. Right. He put on for all the Beckys with the good hair all across the nation. Right. and I don't think, and honestly, to be honest with you, I keep pulling the wrong game. I don't think that the Lakers have an answer for him specifically. No. And I don't think they'll figure that out. The only possible way is to put LeBron James on him, and that's going to tire him out because Devin Booker is not letting up at all. All right. I also think DeAndre Ayton played a huge game.
Yes.
I think that Ayton outplayed Anthony Davis. That's how I'll bring up AD, right? He got outplayed by DeAndre Ayton. And DeAndre Ayton is by no means a scrub, but at the same time, when I remember when AD was in New Orleans, he was always the best player on the floor, especially for a big man. And now, in some reason in these Lakers uniform, for some strange reason, he be getting outplayed by other bigs. But the clear difference to me is the total rebounds. You got 47 for the Suns and 33 for the Lakers. And when you look at AD's stat line, this guy has 7 rebounds. All right. He has 7. Him and Drummond both had single-digit rebounds.
It's ridiculous.
That can't happen again. Meanwhile, DeAndre Ayton with 16, looking like a baby Barkley, right? looking like the real Drummond, right? Got 16 rebounds. Devin Booker with 34 points. So I think that the Lakers got to get it together. I have no doubt in my mind that the Lakers will. I have no doubt in my mind that AD will come out and have a big night in game 2, and then he'll flex and he'll pop off like he was always going to do this all along.
Right.
Listen, I'm not into these little these little, bad game first game and then come back, have a good game and pop off. I'm not with that, man.
Yeah.
Listen, the guys that I looked up to, Jordan, Kobe Bryant, right, Allen Iverson. It ain't no. It's all right. I had a bad game tonight, but I'll be back. Ain't none of that, man.
Mm-hmm.
You got to come out and hit them in the mouth. You got to come out ready for a slugfest.
Mm-hmm.
And AD clearly wasn't ready for that physicality that DeAndre Ayton was bringing. All right. So shout out to DeAndre Ayton. Shout out to Devin Booker. He did look like Mamba Jr. as Maestro there. He was there when Kobe was giving out the game. I saw the pics. Right, I saw Devin Booker, I saw Kyrie Irving, I saw those guys there. I didn't see Chris Middleton there, right? But for some strange reason, Chris Middleton handled his business as well. But we saw Devin Booker there. We saw Devin with Kobe. We saw him in the mop with the shirt with the with the circle around it. We saw him with the mama shorts. We saw him get the shoes signed by Kobe that said "Be legendary." We saw all that. So shout out to Devin Booker, man. But that's all I got on this one, man. I'm looking forward to game 2 and the response, even though we shouldn't be looking forward to that. But yeah, AD's got to respond.
Black, what you think, man?
Hold on real quick. That's me pressing the panic button. All right. This does not look good for the Los Angeles Lakers. Matter of fact, I'd even go as far as to say this is probably the worst playoff scenario that we could have had. And here's why. Because Anthony Davis has been playing like a castrated bull all year.
Jeez.
And I've been light on Anthony Davis all season, giving him the benefit of the doubt. But ever since he won that chip, the boy been coasting. The boy has been coasting. And it all came to a head in game 1. He wasn't assertive. He's pulling up from 15 feet and out for some reason.
Right.
He looks like he's sleepy out there. He's allowing the opposing bigs to dictate where he starts and initiates his offense.
Right. I don't like that at all
He's
either.
He's settling for fadeaways. He's not trying to get to the line. And when he does, he's missing. The Lakers got to the line, I want to say 18 plus times yesterday and shot 60%. And I know we keep talking about free throws, but free throws are so hard to come by in the playoffs. If you're not capitalizing on your opportunities when you step to that line, it's not going to go well for you. And we're going to continue to see that throughout these series. But Anthony Davis he's on Black's list, y'all. Anthony Davis is number 1 on Black's list. He's got to do better.
Right.
He's got to do better. We can't keep relying on a 35-year-old LeBron James to go into GOAT mode every time we need a bucket.
Hey,
At some point, Anthony Davis is going to have to step up.
Keep going, Black, but I'm just looking at these highlights. Davis is just being overly physical with everybody on the Lakers, dog. I can't believe it. But go ahead, Black. I'm gonna run these back, but keep bloviating, please, dog. But I'm just in awe at this physicality, dog. I can't believe it. I can't believe it, dog.
At some point, Anthony Davis is going to have to step up and take the keys. The keys are not going to just be given to you. And I don't know if he's satisfied. I don't know if there's something on his mind, but he's looking like Karl Anthony Towns out there.
Yes.
Facts.
He's looking like he's afraid to engage out there, and it's blowing my mind. Now, that being said, man, I want to give credit to the Phoenix Suns, man. They played lights out, even with Chris Paul getting injured early. And I still don't know what happened. Does anybody – can somebody in the comments, what happened to Chris Paul? What was that? 'Cause I don't know. He clearly looked hurt. I'm not going to say the brother was faking. He clearly looked hurt after that. You know what I'm saying? He fumbled the handle several times. The shot looked broke. I don't know what happened, man, but man, I hope he's okay. I hope he's all right, man, because I hate to see CP put in all that work and not be able to reap the benefits of his team playing well.
Hey,
But the Lakers,
Chris done
panic
cried
button.
wolf so many times, man.
Right.
You know, Chris done cried wolf so many times, bro. Like look, ain't nobody even talking about his injury today, right? All the talking heads just literally ignored it, right? He done cried wolf so many times, dog. Ain't nobody even here for that, man. If you don't get yourself up and get back in the game and get a handle on that ball, right? Over here flopping, throwing the ball
Hey,
around.
You would think with State Farm, man, the brother would be a little bit more careful out there, right?
Hey, he needs them coach.
I also want to put somebody else on honorable mention on Black's list, and we don't expect too much from the brother, but Wesley Matthews, man, I didn't think it was possible for someone to do less than what Danny Green did in our last chip run.
Right.
Yeah,
where's he at, man? I'm honestly ready to see Ben McLemore step in, and that's how sick. That's how sick it is.
Hey, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, I think I'm somewhere between you, Black, and you, Leak, as far as my panic mode. I'm somewhere in between, but I'm leaning towards Black because they don't seem hungry, man. And I'm gonna go on a limb and say this: if the Lakers continue to play like they did game one, they don't deserve to win. Let's go ahead and you guys go home, enjoy Los Angeles off season.
Right,
and let some people who really want to do this, let them get it. Let's see who get his. You know what I mean? Because you're not entitled to a repeat. You have to work for it. These guys are coming out like it's in the bag, especially when you talk about AD. There's no sense of urgency. Right. You don't luck up and win 2 back-to-back championships. You have to really be as hungry as you were on the first run. And we're not seeing that from the Lakers, man. So it's very disappointing.
And Mark, I'll tell you this too. Me and Black were talking off air, right? Prior to the show. We were going through our show notes, right? Like Skip and Shannon do, like Max and Stephen A. You know what I mean? We that's what we do, talking heads, right?
Right.
Now listen, and Black could be right back.
Just left.
He just checked out. Black literally turned black, right? Hey, he should be knocking back on this door any second now, right? to come back in. Hey, but look. Let me. I've been carrying this guy all this time anyway. Right. Now he want to come back. All right, look. Look, you want to come back upside down, Eric? Look, all right, look. What I was gonna say is, I think.
Hey, brothers. Hey, I'm caught in the matrix right now, man.
I see. Hey,
y'all freezing. Your bloviation's getting cut off. Yo, shout out to T-Mobile, man. But this ain't it.
Hey, look. I was gonna say that me and Black were talking off air, and AD was always stepping up, ready for the challenge, the best big on the floor, dominating when he was on the Pelicans. He didn't have off nights like this, especially when the Pelicans made it to the playoffs.
Yes,
they squeezed in the playoffs by the skin of those white teeth, right on that the light spot on the bottom of your teeth, the part that's barely there. When they squeezed into the playoff by that part, AD always dominated. Every night he dominated, right? And now all of a sudden, when he put on this Lakers uniform and he paired up with LeBron, he be taking nights off, taking games off, talking about it's a filling game. It's a filler. I'm trying to fill I got to be better tomorrow. Man, no, you needed to be better tonight, right? You needed to be physical tonight.
Right.
So shout out to AD. I think he's gonna get it right, but I don't like the whole position of I'm gonna fill it out real quick. I'm gonna take my mid-range jump shots. I'm gonna stretch the floor real quick, see if I can get into my groove. Now you need to attack the basket. You need to attack the paint.
Exactly. Go hoop, man.
Listen, if I see AD live streaming on Twitch playing Grand Theft Auto one more time, I am gonna lose it on No Hesi.
Yeah, man, he got to definitely stay focused. Stay focused, man. It's hoop season. This is winning time. But guys, we have to go. We have to go to Madison Square Garden, man, and talk about the Knicks versus the Hawks. That was a slugfest. So we're gonna start with you, Black, since you're having a little bit technical difficulties. We're gonna let you get your bloviation off. Let's talk about New York versus Atlanta, man. What'd you think?
Hey, this is the series of the first round for me. It's extremely evenly matched. very we got a couple playoff virgins, if you will. And Julius Randle and Trae Young.
Yep.
And it looked like Trae Young it looked like he'd been lusting after this moment for a very long time.
Yeah.
I've never seen him look so composed, so poised. And hey, man, it looks like he dropped all that illegal tech that he's been utilizing to get himself to this point. So, hey, man, I ain't got nothing bad to say about the brother. I know we hate a lot here on No Hesi when it comes to Trae Young. But, hey, I ain't got nothing bad to say about the brother, man. Hey, you keep playing like that, and you're going to earn my respect.
Right.
I will say this, though. I'm sorry, Lee. I will say this. It looked like Julius Randle was pressing.
Yeah.
Julius Randle was pressing, and I think that was the difference in the game. I mean, you can't get more from Alec Burks. You can't get more from D. Rose. Right. It really, in my opinion, was on Julius Randle. He looked like he was a little bit nervous. The moment looked like it got away from him a bit. So I expect him to step it up next game and try to right this ship.
Right.
Hey man, I would this is the game of the round one for me as well, Black. Particularly because you got two teams that haven't made the playoffs in quite a while. They're both back in the mix, and their fan bases are loving it.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, Trae Young is a bad little man. All right, he is a bad man. Look how he got Spike looking. Spike was looking like an auntie who was waiting for a child to come home from when the street lights came on and they weren't there yet. Trae Young. The blender mix that he put these guys in to get the shot off. Is that RJ Barrett on him? Or no, that's Frank Ntilikina. Watch how he get them hips turning like Frank doing a dance move. Look at that. Ooh, he got him doing the karaoke drills, right? Listen, man. Trae Young is a bad man, and he's not to be played with. He's ice cold, all right? He ain't got no conscience. He'll shoot 40 times if he needs to. He'll shoot a 40-footer if he needs to. And he has what I like, my particular favorite part of the game offensively. He's got a little float package, right? He's got a little float on. You know, I love the little float game, right? I love breaking down the defense and getting in that center spot and just floating it up over the top. Trae Young is excellent at that. We haven't seen a lot of it because of the illegal tech that he's been doing, where you get by the guy. And then after that, you want to stop on the dime before you get to show the float game and get the foul call. Well, now Nate McMillan's put all that to rest. He put all that to bed, and he told him, you got to go get your shot. You got to get a real shot. So we know Trae can get to the free throw line whenever they need to. But I love the float package. I love the game winner. Shout out to D. Rose. He had a good game as well. Julius Randle, I expect him to play better. This is his first time in the playoffs. So I know he's going to deliver and show up. He's got to be extremely physical. But the Hawks got something for him. With John Collins and Clint Capella, those guys ain't afraid to get punched in the mouth. Julius Randle is a very physical guy, and everybody talks about how he'll punch you in the mouth, right? He'll punch your team in the mouth, metaphorically. But John Collins and Clint Capella, they don't mind getting punched in the mouth, right? That's the thing about them. They got a real physical game to themselves as well. And shout out to John Collins. I think he's going to get better along the series and show why he was a scrummer. Show why he should be a bigger part of the offense. Show why Trae needs to look for him. So I think Atlanta's got this series, but I do want to continue to see it be competitive.
Yeah, I mean, just the visual aesthetic of the blue and the orange and the crowd in the audience, man, in the garden, like it felt like we back, fellas. You know what I mean? So
Spike Lee.
Yeah, Spike Lee.
When's the last time y'all seen Spike Lee in a playoff moment, man?
You know what I mean? It was great to see.
10-year-olds weren't born yet, right?
Right. Absolutely, man. Well, fellas, we got to travel. We got to go to the land of the Mormons, man. We got to go to Utah, and we got to talk about what happened there. What did you guys think of John Morant's game one against Utah yesterday? We're going to start with you, Black. What were your thoughts on that game?
Man, I'm gonna let Leak bloviate on John Morant, man, but I want to highlight somebody that I've been kind of peeping the last month of basketball, man, and he's been stepping up big time for the Grizz. and that is Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks has been he's ascended now to not only being their premier perimeter defender, but he's also consistently putting up buckets for that team when they need it. He has a solid slash game. He's very down and dirty, if you will. And I attribute last night's victory to a lot to his hard work yesterday, man. He's the player, man. I like the kid.
Yeah. He's definitely
too, man. I thought Donovan Mitchell was going to be playing in that game, and I think with Donovan Mitchell in the game, I don't see the Grizzlies. I don't see the Grizzlies holding on, but shout out to them for taking advantage of the situation and getting the dub in Utah.
Absolutely. Leak, what'd you think, man?
Hey, I second that notion with Black. Dylan Brooks has turned into an amazing player. I remember watching him in college. I remember watching him do his thing for Oregon, and I liked him a lot. I thought he came into the league after doing 4 years in college, I believe. So he was like one of those older guys. So I didn't think much of it. And Memphis was a very bad team as well. But his development has been really nice. And to see him come along and to be able to start alongside Ja Morant, he looks like the two guard that's supposed to be next to Ja. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
He's huge for a guard. He's 6'7", right? But he can play on the perimeter offensively and defensively. He's we'll call him Dylan with the good hair, right? He's one of those brothers, you know what I mean? But he's bringing the physicality, right? And I love to see it. And I think Ja Morant was sensational as he was in both playing games and as he was tonight. Now, this move by Dylan Brooks was cold. I don't know if y'all can see that, but he put Mike Conley. Ooh, look at that. That's cold right there. And Mike Conley even hacked him, and there's nothing you can do with him because he's 6'7". That's a strong body man right there. I just love what Dylan's bringing. He's attacking the basket, attacking Rudy Gobert. He's on the glass. He's just fighting for it, right? He's just fighting for it. So, but Ja Morant is the leader of that team. Dylan Brooks can do what he does because Ja Morant does what he does. Ja Morant closed the game out, and he also did it using, like I said earlier, one of my favorite little offensive moves, that float game, right?
Yeah.
That float game is something serious. And if y'all haven't noticed by now, it could be the difference between winning a game and losing a game. So if you're in the gym or you're working on your game, make sure you get that float package proper. You can't be afraid of the float game, all right?
Listen, if you're a guard and you don't have a floater at this point, then you're probably not going to be as successful as you want to be.
Yeah. Especially with the rim protection and how that's come up in recent years. You got to have that floater, man. You got to have that. So, fellas, I want to get your predictions now. I'm going to hold your feet to the fire, fellas. I want to know, who do you have winning each series? All right. So I think, League, are you going to will you be able to put up the tree, playoff tree?
I'll pull that up. Yep.
And we're gonna get you guys' take on exactly who you have winning each series. It's been a great game one, and I think there's gonna be some good series, going forward, man, in this first round. So I'm excited to see what y'all think, man. All right,
and I will get my case of Duke.
Yeah,
I will get my case of Duke.
Right. So, Black, I'm gonna have you just go from left to right, starting with the West, and with each matchup, you can tell me who you got winning, and then go ahead to the East and do the same.
That's a fact, Maestro. He's a goon with a jump shot. That's a fact.
Right.
Yeah. We're gonna call him Villain Brooks from now on.
Right.
Here on No Hesi.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead, Black.
Game. Yep.
All right. So in the Utah versus Memphis series, I'm still going with Utah. I just got the update from my source. Donovan Mitchell will be in the lineup. for game 2. So look for Utah to kind of assert themselves. The Clippers v Dallas. This one's tough. Initially, I had the Clippers winning, but after game 1, man, that's looking a little shaky. I'm going to hold on. Diamond hands, as they say in the crypto world. I'm going to hold on to the Clippers. I got them winning the series. It's going to be a long one. I say 6 games. Clippers will get that done. Denver versus Portland. I'm going with Denver, but I'm going with Denver in 7. And then Phoenix, LA. Man, look, I can't in good conscience go against the Lakers on no Hesi. You think I want the comments to attack me after all I've bloviated about the Lakers this year? I'm taking the Lakers. I'm going 6 games. I hope Chris Paul's healthy. You know what, Leak? I'll let you do your West, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. So I'm doing just the West then. Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. So Utah and Memphis, we'll start there. I do have Utah winning that. Donovan Mitchell, when he returns back, he's gonna put this series where it's supposed to be. He's gonna show this series the difference between the 1 seed and the 8 seed, right? He's gonna go ahead and clear that, draw that line in the sand. Dallas and the Clippers, honestly, bro, I got Dallas winning this series.
Yeah.
I got Dallas winning this series, and I got them doing it in 6 games. Not even 7. They clearly don't have an answer for Luka. I think he's averaging against the Clippers in the playoffs, he's averaging 30, 11, and 9 or something like that. So they ain't got no answer for him, even though they got the two of the best perimeter defenders in the league, 2 athletic, strong brothers, 6'7", 6'8", right? Defensive player of the year candidates, all NBA candidates, empowered by a championship coach, Ty Lue. They still ain't got enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and have Dallas win that in 6. I got Portland beating Denver in 6 as well. They need Jamal Murray to get out this series, and frankly, and I gotta be honest, they're not gonna get him. So I also have I've got the Lakers beating the Suns. I've got that going 6 games as well. I think LeBron and AD will get in their groove and put that to bed. But Devin Booker will solidify himself as an elite villain. All right. He is going to for as long as they allow this series to continue. The longer they let this series go on, the more Devin Booker is going to embarrass them. So I hope the Lakers go ahead and close that out. I think it's going to happen in 6 games.
Woo. Yeah, just to throw mine in, fellas, I think I got Utah winning the first series. I, too, have Dallas winning against the Clippers. I'm going to go Portland as well in 7
How many
games.
games you got, Mark? Can we get the game count as well?
Yes, sir. So first series, Utah, I have Utah winning in 6.
Okay.
I think Memphis will get another one. Then I have Dallas winning in 7 games against the Clippers. It's going to be a good series. I have Portland winning in 7. I think that's going to go 7 games. And I'm going to shake things up, fellas. I got Phoenix winning this series in 6 games. Yeah, you heard me. Phoenix in 6. The Lakers don't want it.
Whoa. Hey, yo, that's a shock. I am shocked.
It pains me to say
and you
it.
got the Lakers jersey on, too.
I'm not confident. 0 confidence, man.
All right, Mark. Now, usually me and Black would be the ones bloviating, and you would just be moving us along. But I gotta ask you, please give me heat. What is the deal with that? Please tell me what worries you as a Laker fan.
I just don't see them stopping. They play great defense, but they're not going to be able to stop Devin Booker. There's no answer for him. I think he's going to be the X factor in this, right? Now, I will throw a caveat in there.
A Bronviat.
A Bronviat.
You mean a Bronviat?
Yes. Chris Paul has to play the entire series. If he's nicked to the point where he can't be on the court,
right,
then we're gonna have to. I might have to eat crow on this.
Okay.
But I just think that the Lakers they're resting on their laurels. They don't want it like they need to want it to go against this This is a hungry Phoenix team, fellas. These guys haven't been. I mean, we got Devin Booker. He has never been in the playoff. Chris Paul has never really advanced far in the playoff. These guys want this thing, man, and I don't think the Lakers do.
Man, my emotions won't allow me to accept that as truth, Mark.
Fair enough.
I try not to operate under emotions when it comes to my picks, but in this case, we all know I have a soft spot for the Lakers. My emotions won't allow me to go that far. I am pressing the panic button, but I cannot, in good faith, say that the Suns are going to win this series. But I respect your take. I respect your take.
Well, yeah, it's a respectable take. You know, I'm not going to sit up here and act like your take is ridiculous, Mark. I'm not going to act like what you're saying is just so out of this world. I can't believe it. It was a shocker at first. I won't lie about that. You see me and Black's reaction. But at the same time, you know, when you go into the deep, you know, yeah, Chris Paul's healthy and he's playing the full time. You know, we know they ain't got no answer for Devin Booker. You know, we know that. So if Chris Paul's playing and he's getting everybody else involved and everybody's doing their thing the way a Chris Paul ran team usually looks, then yeah, if the Lakers rest on their laurels, they'll be home early. That's a fact.
Absolutely. So, fellas, I got to get your take on the East, man. Black, we're gonna start with you. Let's have your East picks.
All right, on the East, man. I already said what I said about the Sixers, man. That's a 4-game sweep. I wish I had Jalen Rose broom for that because I don't think that's gonna last that long. The Knicks and ATL, man. I got this going to 7. I hope it goes to 7. All right. I rarely do that in the first round, but I hope it goes 7. And I got my Knicks taking that victory. I think Julius Randle stabilizes. You know, I mean, he needed to get punched in the mouth by just the ambiance of playing in front of the Madison Square Garden crowd.
Right.
I got the Knicks winning that series. Bucks, Miami. I also think this is a series that's gonna last longer than the next one. I think this one's going 7. I think this is going 6. I think the Bucks are going to hold on, though. The Bucks are going to hold on, you know, by solid play from their stars, Giannis and Chris Middleton, with help from Drew Holiday. I think defensively they're better than they were last year. Last but not least, I got the Brooklyn Nets beating Boston, 4-game sweep. Get him out of there. Jalen Rose broom. Jason Tatum might explode. He might explode, but I don't think it'll be enough. Brooklyn in 4, man. Get him out of there. And get Brad Stevens out of there, too.
Leak, what you think?
Hey, man, look, I do have Philly winning this series against Washington. I got them winning that in 5. I'm gonna give the Wizards a game. It's gonna be a gentleman's sweep. All right.
Hey, Leak, don't front, man. You gotta hold it down for your peoples back there in the DMV, man.
Right.
I can't just throw them all the way under the bus, right? I gotta give them something. You know what I mean? But I will look where Madison Square Garden looked like they never heard of COVID. That's a fact.
Lit.
Yo, Madison Square Garden looked like the club circa 03, right? It looked like
you saw Spike Lee catch the Holy Ghost in there. Like, Spike, if you don't sit your old self down before you bust a hip.
Yo, Tracy Morgan was in there, right? We know he got health complications, and he was up in there. You know what I mean? So you know it was lit up in that place, man.
Looking like Hustle Man in there, right?
Yeah, Tracy Morgan got a history of complications, more than a little. Shout out to that brother and his health. But he was in the building, man. He was in there, and he didn't have no mask on either.
Right.
Hey, man, look. Yo, I got the Hawks winning that series, and I got them doing that in 7 games. You know what? I got him doing that in 6 games. You know, I'm not gonna cap, man. I don't think the Hawks. I mean, clearly we saw by the last play the way he had Frank Ntilikina doing that defensive back drill where you got to shuffle this way and then the coach move the ball and you shuffle that way. Clearly, we see that they don't have an answer for Trey. Hey, if I ever see a defensive guard in a compromised position, that was it, right? You know what I mean? Like, as soon as the ball was inbounded, you know, Frank was just he had no answers.
And he's a defensive specialist.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like if you got the defensive specialist looking like that, it's like when you see Kobe put Tony what's his name Tony Allen. You know what I mean? You just knew the series was done. It don't matter how many games it's going. Ain't no answer for that, man. You know what I mean? So I got the Hawks in 6. I was gonna say 7, but I don't even see. I think the Knicks are basically gonna start bowing out at some point.
Hey, disrespect.
Trey Young's gonna deliver a barrage. Trey Young ain't even getting to his 3-point bag yet. That's the cool part about it. He ain't start hooving or what do they call it? Heaving 40-footers yet. You know what I mean? So yeah, that series is a walking dead man.
Hey, they lightweight want him to do that though. I'll say that.
Hey,
they want him to do that.
I want him to too, and I'm sure he wants to too. He's just playing a little responsible, letting Nate McMillan have a proper handle on him, right? Right. So they get a little bit of separation, and then the barrage is gonna come, right? 40-footers, 45-footers with no dribble, right? Getting the ball at 40 foot, just you know. Yeah, so I got the Hawks winning that. I got the Bucks beating the Heat, and I got that going. I got that going 6 games. And the reason why, not to bloviate too much, but the reason why is Victor Oladipo is not playing; he's out, and they traded Avery Bradley, and they traded Kelly Olynyk for him and a first rounder. Avery Bradley is a defensive specialist. He's supposed to be the one who they could put on Chris Middleton, who they could put on. Don't get tired on us now, Mark. We're almost done. Don't do it now. I know you.
Hey, you gonna get this bloviation.
You got your rocks off with that little Lakers and Suns little thing you did. You gotta listen to us now, all right, brother. All right. Hey, well, look, they got rid of Olynyk and Avery Bradley for Oladipo. Those two were critical in their run last year, and now that they don't have them and they don't have Oladipo, they're missing assets at this point. And I don't see the Bucks losing to a team that's missing assets. They're too well coached. They got a superstar. They got a defensive specialist, and they got someone who looked like they went to the Mama camps with Kyrie and Devin Booker and all those other guys that was there. So I definitely got the Bucks winning that, and I got Brooklyn in 4. I don't think Boston's going to get a game, and I'm not faulting Brad Stevens for that.
Yeah.
I feel like
I need somebody to jump on board with me on this narrative, man.
Hey,
somebody
I feel like
balls.
K. Perk with all this bloviation. Man, I feel like K. Perk right now. Carry on, you know.
Right. Man, I'm going with definitely Philly in 4.
My fault. Yep.
No, you good, Lee. Definitely Philly in 4.
Hey, Lee, you ain't gonna let him get his bloviation off, man.
No, right? The brother was yawning. Now I'm about to cut. Now I'm gonna cut off his screen. Right? Come on, right? Come on. Hey, shame on. I might as well leave. I'm gonna go ahead and leave right now.
No, I got Philly in 4. I think it's gonna be a sweep. I have the Hawks winning in 7. I think that's gonna be a really good series, but the Hawks are gonna pull it out. I have Milwaukee in 6. Revenge. It's gonna be sweet for them. And then, of course, I have Brooklyn in a sweep. It's 4 games and they're out of there, man. Okay. So it's gonna be a couple sweeps going on in the East for sure. But fellas, man,
hey, listen. All I will say is this before we move on, fellas. Listen, both of y'all been slighting my Knicks all year, right? Me and Spike Lee are the only ones that believe in the Knicks. So let it be known that once they go to the next round, man, it was me and Spike Lee jumping up and down in MSG like we just like the Lord just came into the room.
Yo, it's gonna be
Y'all wasn't
interesting,
with
man.
it shooting in the gym, all right?
Right. You definitely been rocking with them all season. We have to give you that, Black. But fellas, this has been an exciting episode, man. We gave the listeners a little OT, you know what I mean? So we hope you all enjoyed it. But before we get out of here, we can't leave without one, thanking you, the viewer, and asking you to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you'll be notified every time we go live, which is every Monday. But before we leave, we have to pay hoop homage to someone of Leek's choosing. This is Leek's special segment, man. So without further ado, Leek, the floor is yours.
Hey, I appreciate y'all. You two brothers, it's amazing doing the show with y'all. I appreciate the chat. If you still made it here, you were still rocking with the best. All right.
Mm-hmm.
You're still rocking with the illest hoop show, the HoopCast on the market. All right. With that being said, we're going to get into the hoop homage of this week. A lot of people like to say homage, but over here, no hesitation. We like to get a little fancy with it every now and then. All right. So it's the hoop homage. And this week, we're going to be putting a spotlight on one player. It ain't a team. It ain't a type of play. It ain't a defense. It's one player. And this player is going to make a huge difference once he returns. We're talking about none other than the boy, the man-child, the steal of his draft. We're talking about the one and only Hedgehog, Donnie Mitch. All right? When this guy comes back, a lot of people forgot how elite Donovan is as a 3-level scorer, an attacker of the paint, a slasher. This dude is off the chain. So when he comes back, expect the series to be over with, all right? Especially with that good team defense, with Utah and that great coaching. He's an ideal fit. He's an ideal superstar on a good coach team, and we don't see that all the time. So I want to put a spotlight on Donnie Mitch.
Hey, Dylan Brooks ready for that, man. Let's be very clear about that.
He think he is. Donovan Mitchell, he's on a team, and Mark cut out. Mark could probably be back in here soon, but Donnie's on a team where he's got a good supporting cast around him, and they play the right way, right? Imagine if he wasn't in a situation like this. Imagine if he got drafted to purgatory. We would see his bag is just as deep as anybody else's in the league. And I'm going to be 100 with you on that. We could see the things that he does. And he's a dog on the defensive end. He will strap down and put his little thick self to work, right?
He's definitely reminiscent of D Wade in that, he can get it in multiple ways, but his main attribute is that first step and getting in that lane and using that athleticism to finish above the rim.
Absolutely.
And he's also improved as a shooter as well. He takes less ill-advised jump shots than he did. He's definitely the engine that makes that team go for sure. And I hate anytime a star isn't able to take part in these prestigious playoffs, man. So I'm excited that he's coming back. Yeah, man, he's definitely box office for sure.
Donovan Mitchell is shot 38% from 3 this year, and he's doing that on how many attempts? Let's see, he's doing that on 8.7 attempts. So, and his 3-point attempts have gone up. When he was a rookie, he shot 7 a game, but he's been in the 34, 36, 38. Donovan Mitchell could let it fly, and he could do it off the dribble. He could do it off the catch and shoot, however you want it. Mike Conley becomes more deadly when Donovan Mitchell is doing his thing. Royce O'Neal, also, what's his name? The Australian cat.
Joe Ingles.
Joe Ingles. He becomes deadly when Donovan Mitchell is in the lineup, and the same as what's his name? What's that guy's name? What's Bogdanovich, right?
Yeah, they I believe they lead the league in 3 points made.
That's right. And a lot of that is probably from the kickouts from Donovan Mitchell and from Mike Conley attacking the basket and drawing the defense in, and those guys letting it fly with no conscience. So I definitely wanted to put a spotlight on Donnie Mitch. With
Mark wasn't having it, right?
Huh?
Mark wasn't having it.
Nah, yeah, he checked out. Yeah, I'm surprised he ain't come knocking back on the door. Right?
Probably internet.
Yeah, but I definitely think I wanted to put a spotlight on Donovan Mitchell because with him being out and the Grizzlies winning that first game, a lot of people have him outside of their mind. And when he comes back from his injury, because he's been out for about 3 weeks or something like that, I think kind of from the end of the season to now.
Yeah,
when he comes back from that injury,
he missed that whole stretch.
He missed the whole stretch, but they were in the 1 seed, so they let him take that time.
Right.
And they probably felt like they could beat the Grizz without him in game 1 as well. But I have a feeling he's going to be back for game 2. Like you said, your sources stated, and I think he's going to deliver the goods. And Donovan Mitchell is going to remind the world why they had the number 1 seed for the majority of the season and why he's box office.
Leak, real quick, man, before we check out of here, man, are there any comments, any other comments that you wanted to highlight at all from the chat, man? Show some love to the chat real quick.
Yeah, let's see. So it says, this is Maestro, says Spike hasn't been Spike was hyped. He hasn't seen the playoffs since Do the Right Thing. That was a long time ago. We got Maestro again talking about Frank on Trae Young. He knew he was in trouble. He knew Trae had all the handles in his bag. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
He was in trouble. What up, Mark? Welcome back.
Hey.
What's up, y'all? The internet is acting up.
Hey,
Yeah,
wifey on your head top asking why you ain't paid the bill on time.
I got to call Cant.
Shout out to Shonda in the mix, the woman of the house over there keeping Mark on point. You better get that internet together, boy. You better get that.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening, man. I'm using my LTE right now.
Okay,
you know
all right. Resourceful, brother. All right. We're just going through some of the comments, Mark. The hoop homage was Donovan Mitchell. In case you missed that, we highlighted him because when he comes back into the mix, a lot of people forgot what Donnie is capable of, right? You know, Donovan Mitchell, elite scorer, 3 levels, dunk on you, hit the 3 on you, step back on you, through the legs, reverse, step back. You know, what type of handful do you want it? Because he's got it in that bag. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So we're just going over some of the comments right now. And that was Maestro. He knew. You saw Frank Ntilikina. He knew he was in trouble. He knew Trae had all the handles in his bag. That's a fact. And the fact that the thing is, Trae got the ball in the backcourt, right?
Right.
So he had the whole backcourt and top of the front court to just work Frank to get him all bent out of shape. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what he did. He worked him from the backcourt to the front court, and then got his
blew right by him.
Playoff ball will humble Trae. He won't be heaving too many deep balls. That's what we say right now. It's kind of like Luka. Like you think, he gonna make the right play. He gonna make the right decision. He gonna play a responsible game. Next thing you know, Luka get comfortable and start taking step backs from 32 feet. Right? Against Paul George, against the Claw. So I see the same thing with Trae. Once he get his footing right, we're gonna see some 45 foot. We may even see a 50-footer.
I'll say this though. I'll say this: if he starts getting into that bag, the Knicks will turn the tide.
That's exactly what Thibodeau want, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
You know, once Trae start cooking and heaving 40-footers, he's got a chance, huh?
Yep.
Let's see.
Man, the chat was lit this episode, fellas.
Absolutely.
It was lit.
Absolutely. Knickerbockers may not get out past Ice Trae. That's right. Yeah. They might not get out that freezer. Let's see. The Finax. Yeah. It's a lot of fat. Shout out to Nate Curry. You already know it. You already know what time it is. Mr. You Go Crazy. Shout out to Nate in the building. Dylan Crook.
Hey, yeah, that's gonna be a nice matchup to look out for, honestly.
Yeah, you said that too, Black. That Dylan Brooks was ready for that matchup. I agree. Dylan Brooks is mentally prepared.
He took on the Steph challenge, so we're gonna see.
That's true. and trade buckets with him. Now, I don't know about that part. I don't know about that. I was with you, Maestro. He was ready to attempt to lock up Donnie Mitch as far as trading buckets. That's where we separate in trains of thought, right? That's where I go this way and you go that way, brother. Because Donnie Mitch is an elite scorer, 3-level, all over the court, however you want it, done it in the postseason, done it against the top tier of the tiers. Dylan Crooks, as we like to call him, and as you so eloquently called him, is playing exceptional ball right now. He's doing amazing, and he's establishing himself as a starting player in the league next to John Morant. But he ain't been in this type of water. All right, he ain't been this deep. All right, he ain't been up to here and neck up, going basket to basket with Donnie Mitch. He ain't ready. I don't know if he's ready for that part of it, but we're gonna see that. Mitchell is T-Mac in the playoffs. Won't get out of first round. Oh, come on, man. He already got out the first. Donovan Mitchell put out Russell. You like Russell Westbrook? Macarius 26 _ hyphen. Huh? You see how I said his whole name? You like Anthony? Huh? You like Paul George? Huh? Well, Donnie Mitch put them out, right? So man, I definitely Donnie Mitch went head to head with Jamal Murray. Dylan Brooks ain't ready for all that, right? Dylan Brooks, that's a whole nother type of scoring right there. You know what I mean? LOL, duly noted. Absolutely, Maestro. That's how we get down on No Hesi, right? We're gonna throw it out there, we're gonna respond to it, and we're gonna agree, we're gonna disagree, we're gonna learn some new perspectives. You know, we're gonna dig into this hoop talk. You know what I mean? So shout out to the chat, shout out to Maestro. So yeah, man, this was a funny comment earlier, talking about Luka, Nate.
Man,
shout out to Nate Curry. That's why he drinks so much, right? Because the Kings didn't draft Luka. So yeah, man. So those are the comments.
Cool, man. Well, fellas, this has been a great episode, man. We want to thank everybody once again, everybody in the chat and everybody who's watching us. Man, that's all we got for today, man. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We gave y'all all we had, and we left it all on the floor. You know what I mean?
That's right. Hey, that says something too, because Mark, you left and came back, and now you're on LT. You know what I mean? It's almost like you got injured and then you came back and finished the game. You on one leg.
The screen looking like Paul's shoulder.
Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce.
He came back like Willis Reed.
Hey, why are you saying screen look like Chris Paul's shoulder, man? Come on. Oh man, hey,
man.
Hey, look at this, man.
Yo, Donovan Mitchell, a glorified Terrence Ross.
Come on, man.
Stop the cap. Hey, stop the cap, man. We're gonna have a chat, man, in person.
Hey.
You already know I'm coming for you. You already know I'm coming for your head, man. Don't do that.
He goes so many driving. Hey, look, man. Hey, y'all want us to stay on, man. That's what y'all trying to do. Y'all trying to have us stay on. Look, man. Hey, we'll catch y'all. Hey, we might even try to get in throughout. Hey, let's try to get in throughout. It's playoff time. Let's try to get in throughout the week one time. Now let's see if we can catch up and get with these brothers throughout the week. You know what I mean? That way we can kind of touch on them again in the middle of the week, because it seemed like they need it, man. It seemed like they need it.
Yeah.
Mark, he said, Mark, hold up. Mark Paul Pierce, the cat.
Coming on the wheelchair. Yo, that's all for us, man. We appreciate y'all. Till next time.
Yes.
We out.
Shout out.
Peace.